we are back working on the Forester. We need to do coolant lines, and hopefully we can get onto making a new dump pipe and getting the wastegate on. Alright, there's quite a few small things that I need to do, so I'm going to get the tape out and we're going to make a list on the headlight. Last episode I did all the fuel. Alright guys, let's go through what I need to do. So I've got turbo coolant, we've got the IAG coolant, so this one here. We've got the heater hoses. This one is too short, that one's okay, but it's got a joint in it which I want to get rid of. We've got the radiator that needs to go back in. We've got a new top hose for that one. We've got to remove the old oil pressure wiring, which is this one here. Going to pull that back through. We've got Haltech vacuum line, because we are now running the map sensor on the Haltech. So we'll probably get it off one of these two and we'll send it through, not too sure where just yet. We'll work that out. I've got to do the wastegate, I've got to do the dump pipe from the turbo. We've got to figure out if we're going to do an intake for the GT35. And then we've got over here, we've got a carbon fibre, the flex fuel mount, so we're going to do all of that in carbon fibre. We're going to do a new catch can setup, probably do it at the back here. Got to finish off the centre gauge pod so we don't have a couple of 2-inch gauges rolling around. Got to put a power terminal cover over here so we don't have live 12 volt there. And I've got to recalibrate the Haltech for the new map sensor. So I've got intercooler piping, so we need to sort out that section. This one will probably change. I don't really like how this is, but when I get a new welder we'll fix all that up. It's got no oil, so we need to put oil in it. Alright, so we've got some of the exhaust, turbo exhaust stuff from a couple of versions ago. So this has the V-band for the other part, for the bottom section. The IAG coolant on, and this one up here I worked out with here. So that'll go onto there, onto there. And I'll just cable tie it to the brake line there, and it should keep it okay. Probably the best would probably be a 45 fitting here. I'll just bring it out, we can bring it around, just make it a bit neater. If I want to make it a little bit neater, I can also cut this one here a little bit shorter. Now for the other side that you guys can't see, I'll probably just go back to the normal one that I usually run on it. It's time to get the GT35 off so we can have a look at fitting this, and also look at the wastegate adapter that I need to make. We've got the GT35 off. Before I got it off, I checked that coolant line, too short, so I've got to work out something else. Alright guys, been out here for quite some time playing around with the 38mm. Got like my adapter there. So I've been trying to get like a V-band clamp onto that just to see if there's clearance, and even if I went straight off that one, I'm still failing on that steering knuckle, so I'm going to have to angle it. And it's going to sit about there, so I'm going to shave this down. A 45 or 44 external gate would have never fit there anyway, so make a little bit more clearance on this bottom side, and we'll angle this up, and we should have plenty of room to get the exhaust in. That's really a weekend job. I've already made a bit of noise, but yeah, won't need any of this stuff. That I'll need, and probably that. That should be able to make the dump pipe. Alright guys, it's Friday night now. I'm going to get rid of this engine crane and bring off the cut-off saw so we can make the dump pipe and wastegate adapter. Alright guys, it's getting a little bit late. Not too late, it's nearly 8:30 on a Friday. So, I'm not going to be doing any cutting tonight. So we'll do some little things. I need to get the manifold down. So I need to bolt that down. because we've got the fuel line running through, I can't take it off anyway, so we'll put that down. We've got the gaskets up there, and what we'll do is remove the old oil pressure wiring. So that's this one here. So that also means the old oil pressure gauge will come out as well. It's on the steering column, so that'll neaten things up there. Alright, just doing a few little fiddly things. We put the earth on, we put the vacuum for the brake, put the connector on for the throttle position sensor, got the cable on for the throttle. Got a vacuum line on. That one goes off to the boost gauge, and this one goes to the exhaust cutout. Now, obviously we've got to wait for the turbo and the wastegate to go on to put the boost controller on there. I need to run, I'll probably run one from here to the Haltech. Trying to figure out where to go through to go to the Haltech. Work that out a bit later. We're going to take out the old oil pressure sensor wiring right about now, and we'll take the boost gauge, the gauge out too. Alright, so I've done a couple of things on this list. So I've removed the old oil pressure wiring and the gauge, and I've run the vacuum line to the Haltech. Show you what I did. Down here you probably can't see, but this vacuum line here is actually on the boost gauge. I've teed off that, it's gone through and over to the Haltech. Hopefully that's okay. Alright, so got rid of the oil pressure gauge here, found my mic once again, and what's this do? Don't know, but the gauge was covering that switch. I have to get a new one of these. I've got like 6 holes drilled into it. Check this out, guys. This is all the wiring I have taken out this time round. Running more on the Haltech. Wow. That's a lot of wiring, a lot of gauges. Now it's all on this Haltech gauge here. It's crazy. Should put this in. Alright guys, so you guys somehow went flat. Haven't been an issue with the GoPro. As you can see, we have the radiator in. I've got the bottom hose connected. We have a new top hose. So if you need one, this is the number. That is replacing the one I chopped to put a coolant sensor in. So yeah, let's get the new one in. Alright guys, I had to cut about 10mm off both ends on that hose. Remember, I do have an aftermarket radiator, so that's probably why as well. It's a lot thicker. So I think it's like 2 or 3 times as thick. So yeah. So radiator is done. Let's see if we can get this off with gloves on. Nope. Still not too sure about that overflow. I guess it depends if I get an intercooler pipe coming up. Alright guys, time to modify this. I need to grind this down so it's the same. And then we're going to weld in the 38mm one, which has a bit of an angle and probably about 10-15mm extra onto it to clear the knuckle. Alright, so we just cut most of it off. I'm not worrying about this side. It's a little bit more material for welding, and yeah, and then I used the sander to clean it off, and I used the drill to clean the inside flange there. So we'll put this on the car now and we'll test fit the wastegate. It's going to be at a bit of an angle, so I'm going to be marking it, and I'll get it out, tack it, put it back in, and so on and so forth. Alright, it's tacked in there. I've got the wastegate on. It's not completely tight, but the exit from the external gate is good. I'm just going to go and turn the steering wheel, make sure that it doesn't hit, and then we'll move on to starting on the dump pipe, because I don't want to finish weld that yet and not be able to do the dump. So I'll just leave that tacked. It's got 3 tacks on it. Looks fine to me. I'll just clamp this down properly. Then we'll get the GT35 on and we'll start working on the exhaust. Alright, so I just turned the steering wheel. It seemed alright. I don't want to do it too much because I haven't got power steering fluid in. Because I haven't obviously ran it yet since having it all apart. Changing it back to both hard lines. Anyway, let's bolt this down properly and start on the dump pipe. Alright, turbo is on. You can see here I've got a coolant line on, so that's good. Got the wastegate sitting there. That's a really good position. I don't know why I didn't think of having it there when making my own. Right, so at the moment I've only got 3 bolts in the T3 flange. It should be right. Obviously it's got to come off, so it will fit probably the GT35. Yeah, we'll fit the GT35 to the adapter and the wastegate and everything and put it in with the 3 bolt flange. It's very easy to access. It's a bit harder to do the T4. Still waiting for a gasket for that. Let's start doing this dump pipe. Alright guys, it's a couple of days later. Had a bit of an issue with the GoPro yesterday, so I didn't film much or didn't film anything. Just tacked up the dump pipe. So I got that all tacked up, ready to finish weld. All I need to do is the wastegate dump. So what I'm going to do is get the other pipe. Where did I put it? Yeah. Obviously it's not going to come out at that angle, so that needs to be chopped off, and pretty much maybe from here. So it'll probably take it down quite low. Hopefully it'll clear everything. Yeah. So just a cut there, weld that on. We'll tack that on first, see how it fits with the dump pipe on there, and we'll go from there. We'll finish welding. Sorry I haven't really filmed a lot of the fabrication stuff. It's just really hard to film, obviously, in this area. Mainly because I need the light. I'm not getting much light. Might be able to hear it. It's raining now, so it's a bit dark outside. But yeah, it's just a bit awkward. So yeah, I wish I could record a lot more. flat enough. Not straight, but flat. You guys been watching for a little while? Well, most recently, with the compound turbo, how I went back to the TD05, I chopped that. I didn't need to. Because that's... So I still could have retained that and eventually gone back to that. That's annoying. I might keep those two bits because I could potentially make it again. I don't know. It's annoying. Alright, so I've got the flange already. Looks like we might have to just do it from under the car. Might be easiest. So I'll get that on and then check the position of that pipe that we just cut. Pretty easy, I think. Alright, so I just went under and test fitted this. It's going to go this way. It's going to run along the dump pipe. I'm going to chop it probably here, the angle, so it'll be flat to the ground. We do need to do a bit of an angle on this one, otherwise it's into the exhaust or into your body. Alright, so I've just marked this one here. We're going to get it onto the linisher or the belt end or whatever you want to call it, and we're just going to make it flat down to that line. So this edge will stay the same and we'll just get that angle. Alright, so I was trying to get it on this way with a bit of an angle and it was just getting too close to everything. So chopped off a little bit here, that'll go on, and it's out in the clear. You can get V-band clamps on, it's not going to hit anything, and it's a good angle. So, and a good length too. So I've marked it. We'll get the V-band flange off the wastegate, we'll tack it, we'll test it again, and then everything is ready for a finish weld. Alright, just did 2 little tacks. 1, 2. Actually, I should do one on this side. This weld might have to be ground down because of where it is. It's so close to the clamp. Try to get a nice, neat weld on that one. I'll clean up the inside before we do a finish weld. Make it as clean as possible. Just did a very quick test fit. It fits fine. Everything's still loose in there, but yeah, fits good. I'm going to clean up the area, clean up the pieces, and tonight I'll sit down for a couple of hours and weld it all up. Alright, so I've got all the parts that need to be welded up tonight, all cleaned up. All the joints are cleaned up. I've done the best I can on the inside of cleaning them up too. Yeah, we'll come back tonight and finish weld them. Alright, back out here to finish weld these. Unfortunately, I can't get them all on tonight because I need to go get the T3 gasket. Let's weld this all up, and in the next couple of days I'll fit the GT35 and everything else. So this works. Alright, the wastegate is welded up. Put that off to the side. Do the next easy one. Just this one weld on the dump. So we can pretty much get that on, we can get the wastegate on, and we can get this on tonight if we really want to, but I don't think I will. I might clean these up, maybe paint them. Not too sure just yet. Alright, wastegate dump is done. Now for the big job. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to do. Fun. I guess all of the welds are done. Not the best material, not the best welder, so hopefully it will hold together. So yeah, obviously everything's really hot. So next episode we'll be putting it all back together. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll catch you next episode. Bye.